Rebbe, it's an honor to be able to follow you with just a few words. You really said it all, and you honor our presence. You honor all of Canadian Jewry with taking out of your very busy schedule because of all the things that you do. And we are humbled to be able to have you be maspid, the rabbi of the English-speaking world, Rabbi Jonathan Sacks. And I do mean that he was the rabbi of the English-speaking world. And the way that I know this is because I get an opportunity to go to a lot of bar and bat mitzvahs. And I will tell you that the one source that is quoted most often by B'nai Mitzvah is this new Perush that I never had growing up. It's not Rashi, it's not the Ramban, it's Rabbi Jonathan Sacks. And that seems to be the new commentary, especially now with the advent of his new Chumash, which will be published shortly. He was the English-speaking world's rabbi. And as our Rebbe, Rabbi Schachter, just got through saying, he was truly an ambassador to the world for the Jewish people. But he wasn't just the ambassador, but he delineated that as the role for each and every one of us. And he taught us that we need to find a common language that we can use to speak to the world, just as Avraham did, and to be able to promote God and ethical monotheism and morality and goodness to the rest of the world. And we don't need to speak the Queen's English the way he did, each person in his or her own way. I recall back to 9 years ago, Parshas Lech Lecha, 2001 in October. I had just come to the Bayit. We had just moved to Toronto. We were here for barely 2 months. Paul Shaviv, who at the time was the principal of Chat, had a personal relationship with Rabbi Sacks and was able to secure a visit from the rabbi and the Rebbitzin, from Rabbi and Lady Sacks. And the Shabbos, coming to the Bayit, being new to the shul, that Shabbat will stick in my mind forever. It was electrifying. People were hanging from the rafters. And not only were Rabbi Sacks's words inspiring, moving, uplifting, but at that Shalosh Udas, at that Sudash Shlishit, we had Jews from all over Thornhill, the religious, the non-religious, the black hats, the Kippas Rugaz, the Chabad, the Mitnagdim. Everybody came. They were hanging from the rafters. And Rabbi Sacks was really in his element. He was taking it all in, delighting in the energy of Klal Yisrael in that room, of a united nations of Jews, that he delighted in being able to be a part of, to sing Mizmor LeDavid with, to hold Tish, as it were, like a Hasidic Rebbe, but then to be able to say words that were electrifying, magnetizing, and uplifting all at the same time. The Friday before that Shabbat, he had come to the Federation building, to the UJA, where a number of different rabbis from all different denominations gathered to have breakfast with him. And I tell you that he had the uncanny ability, despite the fact that he was an Orthodox rabbi with a kippah, a big black velvet kippah, he had the ability to make every single rabbi and Jewish leader feel cherished and respected as if they were of his own camp and of his own stripe. Because for him, those distinctions really didn't matter. I just want to leave you with something that I was looking at for this week's Parsha, for Parshas Chayei Sarah, from his Covenant and Conversation, just the last 2 sentences of a Dvar Torah that he wrote in 2016, about how the Torah records that Avraham and Sarah lived full lives, despite the fact that they had very, very difficult lives, and they went through their own trials and tribulations. But when you end up living a life that is filled with meaning, where you are able to successfully transform the world around you, then you can leave this world with a tremendous sense of peace and a tremendous sense of satisfaction. And Rabbi Sacks writes as follows: to place your life in God's hands, to have faith that whatever happens to you happens for a reason, To know that you are part of a larger narrative and to believe that others will continue what you began is to achieve a satisfaction in life that cannot be destroyed by circumstance. Abraham and Sarah had that faith, and they were able to die with a sense of fulfillment. To be happy does not mean that you have everything you want or everything you were promised. It means simply to have done what you were called on to do, to have made a beginning, and then to have passed on the baton to the next generation. The righteous, even in death, are considered to be alive. Tzadikim afilu b'mitatam kruyim chayim, because the righteous leave a living trace in those who come after them. That was enough for Abraham and Sarah, and it must be enough for us. And I'm sure that it was enough for Rabbi Sacks. Tehi nishmatot tzurura b'tzror hachayim. We will surely miss you, Rebbe.